What if I told you that the Middle Ages, the castles, knights, and kings we all imagine, were hiding something much darker? A truth that's been quietly erased from our history books. Because behind the stories of honor and bravery were lies, cover-ups, and a secret world of forbidden knowledge that powerful people never wanted you to know. And once you hear it, you'll never see the medieval age the same way again. We've all heard about medieval times, right? Shining armor, big battles, royal feasts, and the rise of great kingdoms. But what if that image, the one we see in movies and textbooks, is only half the story? Hidden beneath cathedrals and castles, buried in locked manuscripts and ancient walls, lies a secret history, one that tells a very different story about those 1,000 forgotten years. It's a story of secret societies, lost inventions, and silent wars fought not with swords, but with knowledge. Because during the so-called Dark Ages, humanity may not have gone dark at all. In fact, some say it was the time when forbidden science, ancient wisdom, and hidden technologies flourished, only to be buried by those who feared their power. So, what was the truth about the medieval world, and who made sure we'd never find it? Let's uncover the secret history. Nobody talks about the medieval truth. Most people think the Middle Ages were a time of ignorance, no progress, no innovation, just superstition and war. But that's not the full picture, because behind closed doors, scholars, monks, and alchemists were studying things that would change the world centuries later. They explored astronomy, medicine, and mathematics, long before the Renaissance ever began. Take the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, a vast library where knowledge from Greece, Egypt, India, and Persia was translated and preserved. Much of what we call modern science today began there. And yet, when Europe later rose to power, many of these discoveries were rewritten or claimed by others. Why? Because controlling history means controlling power. The truth was too dangerous for the rulers of the time, a truth that suggested the world was not ruled by divine right, but by knowledge, curiosity, and truth itself. And that was something the powerful couldn't allow to spread. In the heart of medieval Europe, there were whispers of strange experiments, monks drawing complex diagrams they couldn't explain, alchemists who claimed they could turn lead into gold, or even create life. Some say these weren't myths at all, but coded messages, hidden ways of recording scientific discoveries without angering the church. Because during that time, knowledge itself could be a death sentence. Questioning the Earth's position in the universe, heresy, studying medicine beyond what Scripture allowed, punishable by torture. So the thinkers hid their work in symbols, and the artists painted secrets into their art. Leonardo da Vinci's inventions, many of them were built on ideas whispered centuries before his time by minds that history erased. But there's more. Across Udope, secret brotherhoods, like the Templars, were said to guard ancient truths brought from the Holy Land. Some believed they discovered relics, maps, and documents that proved the world's real history was far older than we think. And when they refused to hand them over, they were hunted, tortured, and destroyed. By the late Middle Ages, a new power was rising, the Church and the crowns of Europe. They didn't just rule people's land, they ruled their minds. History, rewritten in their image, became a tool. The great thinkers who challenged the system were labeled as mad or evil. Libraries burned, scrolls vanished, and an entire age was branded as dark. But what if that label, the Dark Ages, wasn't about the people being ignorant, but about knowledge being hidden? Many historians today believe that the Middle Ages were actually full of innovation, from water-powered machines to early forms of electricity and surgical tools. Yet, much of it disappeared, or was rediscovered centuries later. Maybe by accident. Maybe by design. Because when you control what people know, you control their future. And so, the medieval truth was buried beneath centuries of lies, rewritten legends, and the illusion of ignorance. So what do we make of it all? Maybe history isn't as simple as we're told. Maybe the Middle Ages weren't dark, but deliberately dimmed, so that only a few could see the light. The monks, the alchemists, the forgotten inventors. They were dreamers, seekers of truth, and their voices still whisper from the shadows, through old manuscripts, strange symbols, and lost inventions that make us question everything we think we know. Because history isn't just a story of kings and wars. It's a story of ideas, some too dangerous to survive. So next time someone calls it the Dark Ages, remember, darkness doesn't mean the light was gone. It just means someone turned it off. If you love exploring the secrets they try to erase, subscribe to Gray Chapter, where history never dies. It only he this.